it's me, Missy Mist. Thank you so much for coming back to my channel. I know it's been a minute, but life has happened. You know, there's only but so many hours in a day and only but so many days in a week. So I have family and responsibilities, as does everyone, I should say. I'm not cutting that out. So life has happened. Talking for granted, we will resume talking for granted. You know, we're trying to get back on track for that. We're trying to get some new and fresh ideas for that as well. We don't want that particular show or segment of the channel to be stale. So Rakia lives where I used to live growing up. So Rakia is like basically an hour away from me. I kind of put the pedal to the metal and I kind of get there in 45 minutes on a good day, which was like during the summer when my husband wasn't at work and we were all, you know, we all had downtime and chill time. But now that, you know, life has resumed and everyone's back at work and Rakia works and I work here at home, it's just a lot harder for us to be able to get together when we're so far apart from one another and still get a good show, because it, you know, I would have done a lot during that day, and you know, we try and do it on her days off, but she's still on your days off. You have things that you have to do. So we're trying to get it so that it's fresh and that it's new and it's the way that we are off camera, on camera. So talking for granted will resume again. We're in talks and we're really gonna try it and make it fresh and new for you guys. But by no means is that segment over. What has been suggested by a few people is that I speak about my recording career and the whole Miami Bass movement and that type of thing. I'm not sure if a lot of you know, but I am Missy Mist. I am the founding female Miami Bass rap artist. Now, that does not mean the first female to rap in Miami, but Miami Bass is a type of genre that stemmed from several types of music. And if you're familiar with the late 80s, early 90s, and kind of still now, people use Miami Bass, but they call it other things. And other type of music also has spawned from Miami Bass, be it crunk, that was out of Atlanta, just all over. But I'm not here to debate or basically make you guys knowledgeable as to what it is that Miami Bass music is. You can just Google it, and as Kim Zolciak says, you can Google me, baby, and you'll see exactly who I am. Although Wikipedia and those type of things, they don't give you the truth. So I am here to tell my truth. I had a short part in the movie as a documentary called The Bass That Ate Miami, which is available for purchase. It shows a small segment of my discussing a longer issue. I was there for some time doing some taping, and you know how movies are. I have like this much in it, but you know, it's nice, and it does speak about Miami Bass and you know what it spawned from and their take on where Miami Bass came from. I can only speak about what I was involved in and how I got started, my surroundings, my stories. So this segment will be called the Missy Mist SP1200 Stories. How does that sound? Missy Mist SP1200 Stories. So I can put some on that when I edit. Okay. I started out listening to different DJs. My brothers, I'm the youngest of three. I have two older brothers. And one brother in particular, Corey, who is going by a lot of names, he and our neighbor across the street, Sam was a member of the was it SMS or FMS DJs? And I think they used to call him Silky Sam. I have to ask his brother is Bobby, Eric, and Van exactly what he went by. And I'll try and put that on the screen. But Sam was big into DJing back then. And with us being from New York, it sounded kind of funny because my brother, Corey, who is like a chameleon, if you know him, he can adapt to anything. Corey would try and sound what we would call from New York, try and sound country. So when people used to DJ, they were like, my God, my nigga, my this, my that. Everything was like, you would say your little part. Even 99 Jams, which was WEDR back then, when Jimmy G, which is Jerry Russian, when Jerry Russian used to, is Jimmy G Jerry Russian? Yeah, I think so. Or is there a different one? Anyway, it's been a long time. When he would DJ on air, they would turn the music down and say, good morning to you, welcome to the 99 Jams, blah, 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 blah. And then the music goes back up. Then they would turn it back down. Today we're playing this song by Kool and the Gang, yeah, it's Ladies Night, blah, blah, blah. Turn the music back up. That's how DJing was back, even on the radio. So these DJs, when they DJed, that's how they did it. It was in and out type music. So, of course, rap music spawned from New York, actually from the Bronx, where I'm from, is where it spawned from. And they, it was just totally different down here, just to hear the whole in and out type music. Like one of the first raps, like street raps that I can remember, there was a guy named Wimp Womp in the Bronx. And Wimp Womp, who I think is still alive, he would be at all the different jams that they would have on the parks in New York, at St. Mary's and in McKinley on the basketball court, and just different places. And my cousin Greg would do some DJing as well, but Wimp Womp would always do these different raps and stuff, and I was just so amazed. I was a little kid, but I was so amazed. So Wimp Womp and the DJs down here, they really just made me just fall for rap music. So while my brothers listened to it, they got into other things, I continued to listen to it, and I was a big poetry writer. So I then decided to write my own rap. And for whatever reason, I don't know if it's fear, I've never been fearful of the camera. I've never been fearful to get on stage and do a monologue. I graduated from the School of the Arts. I've never been fearful to perform in front of the masses. But I've always been a little fearful to do things one-on-one, or to kind of start it off by myself. So I say that to say, I formed a group by the name of the Funky Fresh Trio. And it included my friend Patricia Rios, shout out to you, Patty. And her name was Patty Rock. Patty is from Dykeman in Manhattan. But we all lived here in Miami. And I met her at JFK. And another one of my friends, Gwynette Jones. And Gwen's name was Smiley G. So it was Missy Mist, Smiley G, and Patty Rock. And we were considered the Funky Fresh Trio. And I'll never forget, Patty had a party. We moved to Miami Shores. And Patty had a party. And she actually had a DJ at her party. And we had written out this song, and you don't understand, I was serious about mine. I actually went into remember the Yellow Pages? I actually went into the Yellow Pages, and I'm trying to look up studios because I just knew we were going to be huge. Like, we were the Funky Fresh Trio, you know what I mean? So at her party that Patty threw, we had our debut. And I went first. And I think it said, it takes just 2 drums and a little bit of bass to get Missy Mist to rock this place. Patty Rock and Smiley G are all gonna be some help to me. They put the boom in the bang in the boom. When the Funky Fresh Trio comes, you all make room. Now today, yeah, that's whack. But back then, I was ready to record. I wanted that on wax, understand me. Patty and Gwen, they weren't that into it. So I was the pest of the group, like, no, come on, we need to record, we need to get it together, we need to do whatever. So at the party, the DJ there allowed me to get on the mic, and I'm thinking that I'm convincing Patty and Gwen to go ahead and do their parts, because we each had a part of this trio to rap on. They didn't do it. I did mine, and when it was their turn, they didn't do it. So like a star was born. I was like, oh snap. People didn't boo me. They kind of liked it. They probably didn't. They probably wanted the song to come on, whatever was playing back then. But they were polite, I should say, and I was just into it. So I decided that I was going to continue to write my music, and one of these days, LL Cool J, who I was completely in love with, was going to come to Miami and discover me. Alright? Okay. I'm using this NARS. And this is the New Orleans, and it's Dark 2, and it's the All Day Luminous that I really, really like as my foundation. It says to apply with the hand. Sometimes I use the beauty blender, but with all of this light, I don't want it to be too heavy. So anyway, I have somewhere to go after this, so I am multitasking. Thank you very much. Anyway, how many more minutes? Okay, let me make it quick. There's going to be segments to this, okay, you guys? Because my career, you know, didn't start in a day, and it still hasn't ended, so I have stories to tell. But this is just my beginning, the roots. Okay, so Skylight Express. I don't know how many of you guys are familiar with Skylight Express. Skylight Express is actually a club that was, during the adult version of it, it was called Stardom. And it was located down in the Town and Country Mall down south, down here where I live. Again, I lived up north at the time though. So Skylight Express was the teen club, and this happened, I believe it was just on Friday nights from a certain time to a certain time, or it might have been Saturday nights. But it really is a great idea for club owners down here. Turn your club on certain nights into teen nights, because that used to be packed. I used to frequent Skylight Express all the time. But anyway, LL Cool J and DJ Man is, no, and E-Love. DJ Man is MC Shity's DJ. Okay, so LL Cool J and I think his name was E-Love. You know, the tall, dark-skinned dude that was his DJ in the back. I don't know why I think that I'm saying that wrong, but in any case, they were going to be at Skylight Express. You don't understand what that meant to me and for me. The very person whom I wrote raps for, poetry for, wrote raps to, like his beats when it would come on. Remember the cassette tapes? I would put that cassette into my mom's clock radio and record him or record his music when it played on WEDR, and then I would write my music to it. Same thing with Salt and Pepper and the rest of them, but really LL Cool J was my inspiration, a dude, not the females. For me, even today, I cannot listen to, and I shout out to all female rappers. I'm a female rapper, so this is not to come down on you guys at all or to come down on us. I, as a female, and this is just off record for a minute, I find it really difficult to listen to a female's rap CD in its entirety. Like, just hit play and just play it. The voice just gets to me after a while because of our pitch. I don't care if it's MC Light, Queen Latifah that has the lower pitch, or if it's Nicki Minaj with the higher pitch. I don't care who it is. It's annoying. I can listen to a couple of songs and then I have to fast forward, go to a different pitch. It's something about my hearing that I just cannot take it. So I gravitated to basically a male-dominated record, what is it called, cassette tape. Like, I would record, the majority of the stuff was the guys, and there were more guys to choose from as well. But you know, don't get me wrong, I listened to Light, I listened to the rest of them as well, but that's just what my preference was, okay? And for my own reasons. We all have our options, and those were the ones that I've chosen. Anyway, so he was going to be there, and I hear his voice on 99 Jams saying, yeah, you know, come through, we're going to be at Skylight Express and blah, 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 blah. So I knew that he was going to be at the radio station at 99 Jams, I'm sorry, at WEDR. I knew he was going to be there, but I just thought that I would never ever get a chance to go. Now, I had just flown in from New York for I think I had to audition for New World School of the Arts. That's what it was. New World School of the Arts had given me my letter that I had been accepted into, or either I had already auditioned and been accepted into their school, and I had to leave New York early because I went every summer. So my mom had just picked me up from the airport. I heard earlier that he was going to be there on WEDR radio station, and that he would be at WEDR radio station. So I said, Mommy, please, 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 I want to meet him. Please take me. My mom was that mom. My mom was like a real stage mom. She thought nothing of it. She was like, fine, we're going to go meet LL Cool J. And I was like, yes. Now, I've never had a boyfriend. It wasn't about trying to go and get with LL Cool J. I was a kid. I just wanted to meet my idol. And I also wanted him to sign me and take me away, and we would just live on an island forever and ever. But in my mind, this is what I'm thinking. Oh my God, I finally get to meet my idol. So we go to WEDR. And this is back when it was in, I don't know the street, but it was, I called it Liberty City, but I don't know where. I still am horrible with areas, but it wasn't where it is now, put it like that. So we go, and there's a security guard on the outside. Now, LL Cool J is actually live on the air being interviewed. It wasn't like it is today. Like, you would expect if a celebrity such as LL Cool J, who was like huge at that time, if you hear that they're on the air, or if you hear that they're going to be on air, you would think there would be truckloads of people waiting outside, but there wasn't. It was just me and my mom. So it was really meant to be. That's why what is for you is for you. What isn't, isn't. Okay? So we go outside, and there's no other cars, but there's a security guard. And my mom, being who she is, who meets no strangers, all those who knew my mom, who should have coined the phrase momager, because that's what we called her back in the day. And now Miss Kardashian has coined it, I believe. But anyway, my mom went up to the security guard, and she was like, hi, you know, is there any way that I can get my daughter in to meet LL Cool J? She's a rapper. She's going to be at New World School of the Arts for theater, and blah, 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 blah. Like, she just sold the story about how great I was, right? And I'm thinking, oh my God, which rap am I going to do for these people? Because I just knew I was going to meet them. So, Pearson, who, God bless him, I've never seen him again, but I've always remembered his name, and I've always given him thanks, because if it were not for him doing what he did, just taking that little step over and beyond, he could have easily said no, but instead he said, listen, I don't know that I can get you to meet LL Cool J, but there's another guy inside there, and his name is Candyman. Have you ever heard of him? So I had heard of Candyman before, but it was through Bass Station Records, and I'm sorry, Bass Station, and that was a teen club, a teen disco. It was Luke Skywalker Records, who owned Pac Jam, and it was Bass Station Records, and they owned the Bass Station. Now the Bass Station was this huge, massive teen disco that I had never actually been to yet. And I said, yes, I've heard of him before. So he says, I can probably get you to meet him, and maybe he'll listen to you rap, or at least, or so. My mom was like, sure. Mommy's thinking long term. I'm thinking, great, thank you. I don't get to meet LL Cool J. But Norberto comes out. Sweetest guy you can ever meet. I mean, like, Norberto was the man in Miami. Okay? But at that point, I didn't know. It wasn't until later that I found out Norberto was a multi-millionaire. Norberto owned all kind of things and was the most humble guy you would ever meet. Ever. So he comes out and he was really cordial and he shook our hands, and my mom explained that we were there because I wanted to meet LL Cool J, and that also I was a rapper. And he says, well, I own Bass Station Records. Have you ever heard of Dimples T? And Dimples T was huge at that point. I'm like, yes. Like, Jealous Fellas? Yes, I've heard of Dimples T. He says, well, she's on our label. And he says, and there's another guy out, and his name is Kenny Brown. Have you ever heard of him? And I think he sang a little, why did you do this to me? And I said, yes, I've heard that before. He said, well, they're all on my label. So he said, well, do a little bit for me. And I forget, I think I did Just Kickin' It. How did Just Kickin' It go? It wasn't called Just Kickin' It then, though. Just Kickin' It is the flip side of Make It Mellow, which was my first single on Bass Station Records. But anyway, I did a little bit of Just Kickin' It for him. And he was like, oh, you're from New York. And I said, yes. He says, oh, I love it. That's what we need. I like your tone. Give me your phone number, and I'm going to also give you mine. And back then, they had the brick, remember the brick cell phones? He had his brick cell phone with him. And he called our home number and left a message, I believe it was, on our answering machine. Like, I'm really dating myself. And he said that he would have his producer, Eric Griffin, get in touch with me. So I was ecstatic. He said, I have to go now. He said, but listen, we're going to be at Skylight Express on blah, 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 blah night. I think it was the next night. Why don't you guys roll through? So I'm like, oh, sure. And I'm like, Mommy, please, can I go? Can I go? So she was like, sure. So my mom and her best friend, Jeanette, took Prashanda, who was my best friend growing up, and myself to Skylight Express to see LL Cool J and I think his name is Ela. Why can't I remember his name? Anyway, to see LL. I took all kind of pictures. I was just like, oh my God. So we decided that we were going to wait on the outside after we watched the whole concert. Let's leave, because they leave early. They're not going to just stay and mingle. So we left out the side door because it was in a mall. Skylight Express was. It was in a mall. And we left out and we waited on the side. And all of a sudden, what was there in the front of I think it said rock. I don't know if it said Rock the Bells or I Need Love. But this Mercedes-Benz, I think it was gold toned, that was back then, that was just like hooked up with the rims on it. And in the front of I don't know if you guys did it wherever you are, but in Miami, you would go to the flea market and you would get a long plate that goes on front of your car. And you can have it say whatever you wanted it to say as long as it fit inside that rectangle frame. And I want to say it said Rock the Bells or either I Need Love, but it was something that had to do with LL Cool J. And who was in the car but Norberto, which is Candyman, LL Cool J, his DJ, and someone else. And no one else again was out there. So they drove, and I stopped. I was just like frozen. And my mom clowns me about this until today, because we're crying. Like, who does, you see that in videos, you see that like when you watch old black and white footage of the Beatles, and nowadays you see young little kids crying over Justin Bieber and stuff, but that wasn't me. Like, I was crying. Can you believe it? But the car didn't stop, because I don't believe that he remembered who I was at that point. Candyman did, but didn't. But he drove by, and LL rolled down his window and blew a kiss. What did he do that for? My mom and her friend Jeanette were like, if you don't get up off that floor crying over these blankety blank guys. But it was a great experience. It was like what started my career, just being a fan of LL Cool J. So the next part we'll definitely get into once I actually met with Eric Griffin, and I had to audition for him, and going to Norberto Candyman Morales' house, and the interactions, and you know, a bunch of stuff, different labels that I've been on, different rappers that I've been around, who I've done shows with, who are complete assholes, who are great, and we're still friends till today. Just everything that you can think of. So that's going to be it for now. And I didn't finish my face yet, but I'm going to do another video, so it'll start off from that. Thank you so much for watching, for listening. I'd like for you to please like, share, subscribe, and also comment on my video. Catch me on Periscope, which is the greatest app ever. It does the same thing that I do here on YouTube, only they only last for 24 hours. So it's sort of like that thing Snapchat, which I'm also signed on to, but I'm not really feeling because I don't understand it as much as Periscope. But Periscope is a lot of fun, and it's live. So any video that I do, such as this, you're actually able to type in whatever it is, text it in, and I'm able to read the screen as, you know, we converse that way, you know. So it's a lot of fun. Again, it doesn't stay online for long, so you'll get a notification at the top of your phone or whatever device that you're using, letting you know that that I'm live on Periscope. But by far, this is my holy grail YouTube. So if you would please like, comment, subscribe, as well as share on your page, or if you have friends, or you know, let's do this together, okay? I thank you so much for your time, and I'll see you again very, very soon. Alrighty? Thanks again. Peace and love. Until next time. Bye. Back it up. Back it up. Back it up. Back it back. 3, 2, 1. Hi, it's me, Missy Mist. Thank you so much for coming back to my channel. I know it's been a minute. Just life has happened. Nothing bad, nothing, you know, that's out of the way or out of the ordinary. It's just life, you know, and there are only but so many hours in a day, and so many days it cut. Back it up. Back it up.